following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now your hosts,
Barry Church, Danny McCray, and Newy Scruggs.
Monday. Off-season's here. Off-season Monday.
Yeah, it is.
Right now. Players Lounge brought to you by Hotels.com. So folks may need a hotel right about now to go ahead and get away. Want to get away?
Dang.
Because it's over.
It's a wrap.
Over.
Yeah.
Football season over for the Cowboys. They lose.
You sound so excited, bro.
I have no more frustrations to give.
Yeah,
I have been let down so much, brother. You can't, when you've been down here so long and you've covered this disappointment so much, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Now you look at this town, Dallas-Fort Worth, and you look at the massive amounts of disappointment. Now, I got to cover Jimmy's last year with the Cowboys. I was working in Austin. Got to cover that. Got to cover some of Barry's first year. So I've seen what a championship team looks like. Seen the atmosphere, seen the people. And when you talk about being in this town since 2000 like I have, since then, 2000, since I got here to work at Channel 5, I watched the Stars play for it twice. Cup twice. Lost both. Watched the Rangers play in the World Series twice. Lost both. Watched the Mavericks play for the NBA championship twice. Lost one. Cowboys have never gone to the Super Bowl during the time I've been here. And along the way, I have seen teams that had the talent to get to that level, and they didn't do it.
So who's that fall on?
Listen, it don't make it no easier to take. I mean,
yeah, it does, because I've seen.
Maybe
how many times you get let down?
Maybe for you, all right? Maybe for you, but for me, who literally, like, I get invested in the squad. We do the show every day, so I'm more in tune now with the game. Even when after I retired, I was just watching the games on Sundays. So talking about it every day, figuring, hey man, we're eventually gonna figure this thing out. I know we're gonna get into it. Don't make it no easier to sit to watch what happened yesterday, especially how bad it was yesterday. Does not make it any easier, because you know that if you don't do knucklehead stuff, then you probably got a chance to at least make it to the next round. And you just watching it like, nah, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you do this? Why would you do that? We've been doing this all year. Are you ever going to learn? And you watch it, and you watch the culmination of the entire season, all the mistakes that were made throughout the entire season, where you say, these are the ones that we're going to go back and fix. And then you watch it happen in a playoff game. You're like, it's frustrating. Man, look, it's frustrating.
They are who we thought they were. I mean, it's as simple as that.
The players or the coaches?
I'm talking about the whole organization.
Okay,
when you go through the entire season and you're the most penalized team throughout the entire season, it's going to reoccur. It's something that's going to hit you. It's going to hurt you when it matters most. And they got into the playoffs, and what happened? 14 penalties for 89 yards. And we ain't talking about, first down. We're talking about on both sides of the ball, money down, third downs, and big situations. It was either a hold, defensively, which I've never seen nothing like that. But if you look at the calls, they were warranted calls. Hands to the face, Neville Gallimore, third down situation. You got a team that's not disciplined at all, and we've seen it.
By the way,
but who does that fall on?
It starts up top and it works its way down. By the way, Barry Church, Danny McCray, Newy Scruggs.
Let's go ahead and put that in there.
As we talk about the loss of the Niners. The Cowboys have had 3 playoff wins. And you keep going back to ownership. You're in charge of this. So when you say, where does it go? It has to start at the top, because this is Jerry's organization. If I point the finger like I always do and say, Washington's not winning, I point at Daniel Snyder. Look at what this guy's done. You're the constant here. You start looking over the last two generations, 25 years, it's the Joneses are on top. So it falls on them.
Yeah.
And then you go next level of Mike McCarthy. You guys talked about the penalties. After the game, Mike was asked about them. Okay, and that's one thing I tried to defend. I said, look, they were like, he complained about the penalties. He was asked. He was asked.
I want to hear about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got to hear about this A. Was it A plus that he gave him? He gave Mike McCarthy an A.
He did.
Okay,
he
all
did.
right.
What did I give the man?
You gave.
Yeah, I tried to tell. That was like weeks ago.
I know.
Can I get the full record of what I said? What did I say?
No. I'm just,
we talking about letter grade.
Yes, the letter grade. And what did I say after I said?
You had the right to change your mind, right?
I said right now at the time, and I said when the playoffs come because it's incomplete. It's like the final. Okay, it was just like your NBA final. How much did you count? How much was your finals?
No.
How much was it weighted?
Come on, man.
I waited the playoff.
Come on, man.
Excuse.
Yes, it is, man.
Let me tell you why.
We did this in what? We can love it?
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why this don't make
No, I said I graded the playoff like a final. It was going to count more.
I'll let you walk into this, Newy. All right, I'll let you walk right into that because you are the same dude who gave somebody an A. And then talk about the entire season. You just agreed to say they are who we thought they were, right? The most penalized team, right? So you gave the guy who has that team an A. Is that right? And then want to talk about what they did, what I gave my A for. So now I'm gonna change my mind. Oh no, no sir.
I told you.
No sir.
He was brought here, and I was gonna base it on you were brought here to be better than Jason Garrett in the playoffs. He failed.
Yeah.
And the fact that he failed, and to me the playoff is like the final. You're going down to a C. You a C plus.
He shouldn't have had an A.
On my page.
He shouldn't have had an A.
He should have been where I told him was from the beginning.
Going into this, I had him there.
I know
and
you
he
did.
failed. He bombed on the final. Okay.
He ain't the only one though. That bombed on his coach.
But I'm just talking about as a head coach. It's great. As a head coach, I had him. He had an A going into the final. He bombed it. Now you C plus, because the final and the way I weighted it and the way I was grading him was this is why you're here. This is why I was boo-boo the fool out here drinking the Kool-Aid saying Mike McCarthy, they got it right. He's a Super Bowl guy. This is an upgrade over Jason Garrett. It wasn't.
And there's no excuses to what happened. I mean, look, this is what, like you said, this is what he was brought here to do, to get this team over the hump, to be that Super Bowl winning coach. He had a number one offense. His defense took the football away better than any team left in the playoffs. And relatively, they were healthy. Outside of Keanu Neal, they were healthy. So there's just no excuses for this one. And he is what I thought he was, a C coach.
Let me tell you something. Okay, I'm going to go back to my days with the Chicago Bears where we were in training camp. The defense was killing the offense. We like, this is going to be a top-notch defense until you get out there and you realize that offense is trash, all right? And this is what I'm talking. I don't hear about this number one offense anymore, okay? Because what happens is the law of averages, right? That's how you get the number one offense. So when you go out there and you put up a 50 on a Washington football team, you go out there and you put up another big score on a Philadelphia Eagles team, and you continue to do this against these squads, yeah, you got a number one offense. But if you watch the game like we watched the game, a true with true football knowledge, you know that this wasn't no number one offense.
No,
just like when you say, all right, I think the defense was top 10 based off what I'm seeing, but the numbers won't show it. It's what we said when the season ended. Can you say the same thing about the offense, especially the last 8 weeks of the season?
No, they were on their slide. There's
a whole slump in there that we talked about.
CeeDee Lamb didn't have a touchdown last
year. He had one catch.
Yeah, I mean, say last week he didn't have a touchdown.
Yeah,
he had one catch in the game. But Kellen Moore's got job interviews to prepare for, though.
Man,
he's a young head coach.
He better go watch that film of what Shanahan did to us, and watch Debo Samuel get 10 carries for 72 yards a tug, three catches. But that is what CeeDee Lamb can do. Something similar to it. I'm not going to say that he's as good as or whatever, because we see Debo doing it now. But that's how you get creative and get the ball in your playmakers' hands. We ain't see it again yesterday.
Look who we targeted out there. I mean, no disrespect, but we're giving Sam Wilson the majority of these targets. When it came down to nut cutting time, who did Dak Prescott throw the prayer to? It was Sam Wilson.
Who was the interception to?
Oh, Sam Wilson! Like it's mind blowing to me. And do you think it's the Kellen Moore drawing these up for these specific plays, or you just think this is where Dak Prescott is going with the football?
Dak was off yesterday.
Yeah,
I've been at home long enough to watch because I don't get to watch the actual film like when Brothers was here. We used to get the film, so I have to watch whatever Orlovsky and Ryan Clark and them, and it's good because sometimes they break down specific plays, and it's the play that we talking about. You line up at 3-by-1, you got a single coverage on the backside. It's cover 4. It's cover 4, so you know you got one-on-one on the backside because the backside safety is coming to number 3, right?
Number 3, yeah.
He threw it to Sam Wilson at number 2. You got one-on-one on the backside. I don't want to hear nothing about that. That ain't Kellen Moore's fault. And I'm sure this is consistent throughout that entire game because they ran pretty much the same stuff and they found a way to stop us throughout the entire game. So I'm not. So if you watch it that way, it's like I can't put it all on Kellen.
You can't.
But not running the ball, that's on Kellen.
16 carries. 16 carries the entire game between Zeke and Pollard.
And Zeke was getting positive yards, bro.
And what did we say? What did we say last couple of weeks? We don't need him to get 1,000. We don't need him to get 150 yards. Just the attempts to keep a defense honest will do you wonders. And what did we see out there? When you try to give a play action with only 16 carries, that defense is not going to bite up. They're going to sit back in coverage and be all in the windows. And as we saw out there, a lot of those throws, they were contested. They were in mucky coverage because you have no run game to throw that balance off.
And our best drive was when we came out and ran the ball. Literally, the boot worked.
6 straight.
The thing worked.
Yeah.
Like everything worked. All of a sudden, I'm like I said, I'm sitting at the bar, and you would be. No kidding, bro. The bar is full of people. Everybody watching the game. We come out, they run the ball, and people are high fiving. Yeah, we were. This is ridiculous.
You was at a bar?
Absolutely. Right here, Concrete Cowboy, right up the street.
We was talking about Philly. Remember Philly?
You and Armor Colonel all out there hanging?
I was there. The hell, you at a game? Church out there. I see church on TV.
Hey,
church on TV. Hey. 100,000 people outside.
We was on the vaccinated.
Yeah.
So
whatever.
So on that drive you spoke of, that was an 8-play drive. 6 of the plays were running plays, and it ended obviously in that touchdown to Cooper. So McCarthy, head coach brought in to win that kind of game, didn't do it. Dak Prescott paid $160 million as a franchise quarterback. You're paid to win that game. 2 minutes, 42 seconds to go, despite an awful letdown performance as an entire team and Dak there as the quarterback. You had your shot.
Had an opportunity.
Hold on.
Had your shot.
Hold on.
And you don't get it done. So when I look at the quarterback, I say, you didn't get it done either.
Yeah.
I'm just looking down the list. He didn't get it done as the quarterback,
that's
making
fair.
that kind of money.
All right, listen, the entire team, I don't know. Let down by the entire team. Okay, we had some leakage on defense. Special teams came out, made some plays.
They did.
You
CJ
think about
Goodwin.
that. They scored 23 points. That gives them the ball in their own territory. Debo Samuel then runs it in for a touchdown. All right, so they get points off turnovers. Our defense, bend but don't break. That is what you're watching at this point, especially when your offense is going 3 and out and putting the ball right back to these dudes. So I want to let down. Nah, defense played well enough to win. 23 points. What did we say when we left? Hey man, if our offense scored 24, 25 points, we should get the dub. They scored 23.
I will say this, though.
You turn the ball over.
Defensively, they did score on the first 4 drives. Jimmy Garoppolo in San Francisco did score on those first 4 drives.
A lot of field goals.
It was 3 field goals and a touchdown.
Okay.
And so it's like, they got to make some stops, too, now.
No, but the defense, when it was time to, they made stops after holding those dudes to field goals. So I'm not saying they played a perfect game, but when you go into the game, you say, hey, man, if our defense can hold this team to how many points, whatever, our offense should be able to win. And
without a doubt, the O got to step up.
Yeah,
they got to play
we
better
literally all agreed on 24 to 25. Like, I think your pick was what was the score? Like,
it was around there. It was around there.
Okay, here you went, and I got it right now. D-Mac, 28-25. Barry, 27-24. I had it 24-22.
So in all those, right? You saying the defense played as well as we picked.
They gave us a chance to win.
Yeah.
They gave us a chance to win.
You get a turnover. You give the ball back to these dudes repeatedly at the end of the game to go make these plays.
Both sides got to play better.
No. I'm saying they have to play better. But I'm saying it wasn't a letdown by the defense.
I ain't saying that. Without a doubt. They played it. They played well enough for us to win this football game. It's just at the end of the day.
Okay.
And special teams came out and they made some plays.
They gave us an extra possession. CJ Goodwin with anger over there gave us an extra possession.
So offensive letdown. The other ones played well enough to win. There's some stuff that you can fix, but that is playoff football. But the letdown of what we saw in the offense, that right there to me is like inexcusable.
McCarthy said the team was jittery coming out to start the game. And I want to make sure that I'm 100% fair as I say this. Mm-hmm. That is what I used to beat Jason Garrett all the time.
Thank you.
Hey, man, that Packers game in which McCarthy was the head coach, team was jittery, out there getting beat. Dude, that's on you as a head coach. Mm-hmm. I want to make sure that I put Mike McCarthy, I look at Mike McCarthy and what happened is being worse than what happened with Jason Garrett because you're the dude who had a ring on your finger. You're the guy who was supposed to be better. You weren't better. You didn't have them ready to go. Got these penalties left and right, and after the game, you want to sit up here and agree with your players that the refs had this and that to do with it, man?
Man.
Come on, man.
Randy Gregory bear hugging folks on defense.
And this ain't the first time. This ain't the first time these refs. And then your players go out there and say the same thing.
No, dude, this was as disappointing a coaching performance that I have seen for Cowboy fans. And I'm not, I can't be mad at it because damn it, they just changed the names and we're seeing the same old stuff, man. And I feel bad. I feel bad for the fans, and because I grew up a Cowboy fan, baby. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to have a Cowboy raincoat, backpack, pajamas, curtains. I mean, my whole wardrobe was all Cowboys, man. I mean, I was that dude. Mm-hmm. I was a dude that didn't want to go to school on Monday because of the catch game. My mom's sick because I done talked all cash. Noise. I don't want to go. I'm not that anymore because I cover it, and now I just been let down so long. But you can't hurt me no more, man. You can't hurt me no more. My armor's up. Yeah. You can't hurt me. I saw the sheets like, man, okay. We've seen worse. Honestly, I've seen worse. I'm on the sidelines for the Romo game. I'm on the sideline for the Mason Crosby kick. I've seen it. Yeah. For people like Chris Beam, you remember the game in San Francisco where the Cowboys started off slow and they fought their way back, and then there was some questionable stuff at the end. I've seen the letdown, man. I've seen it. Yeah. And here you are one more time. I put faith in a dude that I thought could get it done. Stupid me. I look like Boo Boo.
Game made.
Shout out to Anthony Brown for making a.
He did. He made a heck of a play.
Enough, throughout the year, he made a hell of a play.
He did.
To get that interception and get us a score to make that game closer and give us a shot to win at the end of the game.
Let's take our first break. Let's talk about who's going to hire Kellen Moore. He's got a whole bunch of job interviews lined up. Do that next right here on the Players Lounge.
At Smoothie King, we are blending goodness to fuel your greatness. Every blend is crafted to help you achieve your health and fitness goals. Smoothie King uses only whole fruits and organic veggies. You'll never find sugary syrups or artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives. And unlike some other smoothie places, there are 0 grams of added sugar in many of our blends. Smoothie King is proud to be the official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys. Place your order in the app or online for pickup or delivery. Smoothie King, rule the day.
It's game day. You know what that means. First, kebab prep. Steak, pepper, onion, steak, pepper, onion. Next, a counterclockwise lap around the room. Now the lucky grease-stained jersey goes on. And lastly, the dance. You know the one. This is a game day ritual no matter where you are. Whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com and keep the tradition alive and well. Hotels.com. Proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm a broken traffic light. Stop and go is the name of my game. It's easy. You go, they go. Or was it, they go, you go? And if you have the wrong car insurance, these repair costs could stop you in your tracks. So get Allstate's new low auto rate and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Not available in every state based on coverage and limits selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Brace yourself for an existential question. Has your butt been having enough fun lately? Have you been treating it well? Has it been going places? If not, then it's about time you start using SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best way to get your butt tickets to live events. Just ask the thousands of other butts who have rated it the #1 ticketing app. So what are you waiting for? Download the app now or visit SeatGeek.com to get tickets to sports, concerts, and live events and make your butt happy. SeatGeek. Get your seat in a seat.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Get the ultimate fan experience for the ultimate Cowboys fan. Join Dallas Cowboys United, presented by Globe Life, starting at just $20. Join now and get your fan pack, exclusive benefits, and more. Visit DallasCowboys.com/United for details to join today. Barry Church, Danny McCray, Newy Scruggs. It is a let-down Monday because all three of us picked the Cowboys to win.
Yeah.
I was the only one who covered the spread.
Should have went with my gut.
Congratulations.
Should have went with my gut.
Kellen Moore's got job interviews, so Jacksonville already interviewed. Dan Quinn helped him there. Minnesota wants to interview him. Denver wants to interview him. I don't think Houston has called for Kellen Moore at all here. Dan Quinn has got interviews. A lot of people think he's the favorite to get the head coaching job over with the Denver Broncos. How are we feeling about Kellen Moore possibly becoming a head coach and Dan Quinn becoming a head coach now that this thing is over?
Same way I felt last week. Y'all was over here talking about Kellen Moore's resume and Cowboys that you can't wait to get him up out of here. Nah, let me tell you something. Kellen Moore just has some work to do, man. He has some work to do. He's obviously not listening to the stuff that he should be listening to as far as, hey, man, we need to get out here and we need to establish the run. Yeah. We need to be a little bit more creative with getting our playmakers the ball. I think those are two glaring weaknesses in Kellen Moore's offensive play calling. And to give him a head coaching job knowing that you are paying guys $50, $60, $70 million to be playmakers, and he's not going to make sure he put those guys in a position to make plays, that's something that I would be worried about. Yeah. Dudes are writing checks. Yeah. You got $90 million running back, $100 million receiver back there. And you can't first-round receiver, you can't figure out a way to get this man a catch. Yeah. You can't figure out a way to get him involved in the game. So those are the things that will worry me about hiring him as a head coach. And those are the things that worry me about him staying here as an offensive coordinator. Because as team player as these guys want to be, Amari Cooper is only one who spoke up. But I know behind those doors, there's a lot of dudes out there like, bro, why are we not getting this person the ball? Like, I can help us be better. Zeke I know he's a team guy. Okay. But I know he's upset with his lack of production and his opportunities this season as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, I hope it all works out for Kelly. I hope he goes and maybe he'll get, the Jacksonville job and be down there with Trevor Lawrence. But you're absolutely right. There's some things that he's got to work on. And to me, it's adjustments. Because we've seen at the beginning of the year. I mean, we were all in here calling him, oh, man, he's the boy genius. He's getting the most out of this team. Man, they're flying all over the place. That was the first couple weeks, maybe 6 weeks out there. And then teams started figuring them out. People started getting the tape on them like they do rookie quarterbacks, and they started figuring them out, and we couldn't make any adjustments to it. We started doing hook and laterals for, third down calls, which it still blows my mind.
We did that a couple weeks ago, too.
Yeah, we did it a couple weeks. So I was like, man, what's going on? But, yeah, there's some things he's got to work on. But overall, I mean, I can't see him getting out of here. I mean, I think he's got that connection with the Joneses, and I can't see them letting him just walk away to go be a head coach somewhere else. I mean, I can see them letting Dan Quinn do that before they let Kellen Moore.
How much success can we have with Kellen Moore here as offensive coordinator?
If he keeps up the way he's going, I'm not saying a lot because the blueprint's out there. When we have a balanced attack, that's when we're at our best. But he's not willing to do that. So as long as he's here, I mean, and as long as he keeps that same type of game plan, I can't see us having that much success.
Thought. If Kellen Moore's back and Vic Fangio does not get a head coaching job, or in fact, I'd call Vic Fangio now before he even gets another job as just an assistant. What about paying him, say, man, I need you to come in here. I need to spend an afternoon with Kellen Moore and my staff. Tell us what you guys did in that Denver game. Because whatever you did, everybody else got that tape, and they figured it out. Help him get better. You guys tell me, I don't know how.
No, because I think at this point he is who he is. Like, it's not about what Denver did in that game. Like, we can all sit here and see that there is a simple solution, right? Being balanced, right? That is something that he will have to accept that he has to do versus I'm going to draw up this scheme to make sure that I get somebody open versus, hey, man, it's a man-on-man game. It's 0-sum. Somebody wins, somebody loses. And that is what the essence of NFL football is, all right? So sometimes you got to get out there and you just got to run the ball.
Let me push back as a person who didn't play in the league like you guys did. I say that from the standpoint of if I'm running a business and somebody out here is figuring out how to beat me in a certain area, why not go get a consultant to help me understand how do I get better in this area? I mean, as a defensive guy, and you guys play defense, is it helpful at times when you go to the offensive guy to say, hey, look, this is how we got you here, this is how we got you there?
Yeah. It's definitely helpful, but like I was saying earlier, is he willing to take these adjustments? Is he willing to take this coaching? Because as we see in the entire season, he was stuck in his ways. Okay. We wanted to throw the ball all over the place. We continued, even though we've seen if we get these running backs carries, our record is improving. We get the most production out of our offense. We've seen it. If we see that, I know that coaching staff sees that. So I think he's kind of stuck in his ways where I don't know if he wants to be the sexy thing or just, he wants to air it out, play Madden, whatever the case may be. But for some reason, he wants to put it in Dak Prescott's hands alone. And from what we've seen, once we get to the playoffs and having a long, productive season, that's just not the solution.
And also, you'll remember this one I said. I believe it is during the bye week where they do self-scout. So Dan Quinn will watch our offense and then go tell Kellen what he thinks about it and what he would do to stop it. So it's not like nobody has gotten in his ear and said, hey, this is what's happening to you, and this is how you need to get it fixed. Because during the bye week, literally every year that I played, it was self-scout week.
Yeah, that's what happened.
and Kellen Moore would scout Dan Quinn's defense, and Dan Quinn would scout Kellen Moore's offense. And then you would come together and say, this is how we can be better.
Okay, let's go through each job here. For Kellen Moore, and you tell me your thoughts if you're Jacksonville in terms of why would you say yes, why would you say no? So let's start with the last one here, Miami. Why would you say yes to Kellen Moore? Why would you say no?
I don't even know who they got on their roster, right? You don't really have a quarterback to me that I believe in as being a franchise guy, and I think Kellen Moore needs some pieces. It's hard for me to answer these questions because right now I'm so down on the dude. so it's like it's easy for me to say like why not. But yeah, go to Miami. I don't know. I don't really know who the hell they got up there.
If I'm Miami, I'm saying yes because he's a young quarterback. Well, to answer half of the question, yes because he's a young quarterbacks coach. He's an offensive coordinator, but he can relate to the quarterbacks. We've seen what he's done with Dak Prescott and how he's been able to have the number one offense out there. And from what we've seen from this Miami team, the strength of their team has been the defense. The defense is balling, and the offense has kind of gotten here and there, up and down. Maybe if you bring a guy like that in, he can help stabilize that and make that offense one of the powers of that team overall. But what you say no is you got to look at the season we just had. The inconsistencies, the ups and downs. That's exactly what happened with your squad last year with Tua. So to me, overall, if I was Miami, I'd say no.
What about Denver?
Denver, there's a situation where I think he might have an opportunity. I think Dan Quinn has the better opportunity, but from what we've seen in Denver, hiring defensive, minded coaches has not really been productive for them. I mean, Vic Fangio was there last year, and we've seen what happened. They need an offensive mind to get the most out of their team. They got a great wide receiver core, 2 great running backs back there. They got a good tight end. I think they're 1 quarterback away from being a pretty good team. And if you have an offensive-minded coach like Kellen Moore to balance out that great defense, I think you got something going on right there.
I'm gonna just push back on that one because I think we got the same stuff here.
Yeah.
and we're watching this same guy who's calling these plays have these weapons. You got a Zeke, you got Amari Cooper, you got a Michael Gallup, you got CeeDee Lamb. I think the weapons here are better. And we're sitting here looking like, so how are you going to use these dudes? Why are we throwing the ball? Why is Ced Wilson a feature in the offense at this point?
That's true, too.
Versus a CeeDee Lamb or Amari Cooper. And why are you even giving the quarterback the option to be looking at Ced, right? Like, hey, man, I'm drawing up this play for 19.
Yeah.
Well, and I've been saying this for almost 2 years now, and I just don't.
Maybe he needs a rookie quarterback.
You got Minnesota. So Minnesota, you've got Jefferson, you've got Thielen, you've got Dalvin
Kirk Cousins.
Cook. You got Kirk Cousins. So your thoughts on Kellen Moore, and Minnesota wants to talk to him.
Once again, if the guy is able to use his weapons the correct way, like if Kellen Moore goes to Minnesota and all of a sudden Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson cannot be productive, there's an issue, and I will be worried about that watching the Cowboys offense. Like, what is he going to do with the weapons that we have in place? All of a sudden, you want to start throwing it to guys who are third on the depth chart because they're opening your scheme? It worries me. It worries me.
Minnesota, Kellen Moore, same thing?
Why not? I say why not? I mean, look, I think they got a better runner than what we have here. And I think he's a guy that's not as, I don't know him personal, but, Zeke to me seems like he's one of these team player guys. Team first. I feel like they have the personalities over there in that running back room that'll say, I need the ball. And he'll make it known that, hey, I need these touches right now. Why am I only getting 4 or 5 touches a game? And I think he put Kellen Moore in a situation where you got to feature your best player, which is Dalvin Cook. So maybe that would give him an opportunity to have more of a balanced structure.
Is Kellen Moore back here next year, or is he a head coach?
I think he's back here. I don't think the Joneses let him leave. I see Quinn maybe getting an opportunity somewhere else before the Joneses let Kellen Moore walk out the door.
Look, it's either McCarthy or Kellen Moore. But I don't believe that both of them will be here next year. as I said last year, I believe that Mike McCarthy should be taking the play sheet, and he's been in the lab. Like, no, literally, when you advertise like that is what you have been doing, and then now we look at the script and whatever, you're this offensive genius that you're supposed to be knowing all this stuff, and you ain't even calling the plays. There should be next year. There should be no opportunity for us to say, "Oh, it ain't Mike McCarthy's fault because he ain't calling the plays." Nah, you should live and die with your ability to call these plays for your quarterback.
And that's why I think that's why you got to give him a C or even maybe less when we were talking about earlier. Because if he's not calling the plays offensively, we know he's not calling the plays defensively. You're here to be a manager. You're here to make sure this team goes in the right direction. Time situations, whatever the situation may be, mojo moments. You're the coach that makes these decisions. And as we've seen, it's been a failure so far.
I think Kellen Moore's going to be a head coach.
You think he's getting up out of here?
The way this league has hired, he's got a better resume than Zach Taylor, got a better resume than Nick Sirianni. This man's going to get a job based on how we see them hire. It's not about proven resume. Mm-hmm. It's about, and Mike Lombardi talked about it, you're chosen. You know, they choose this. Oh, you're the guy. So based on what I've seen in hiring the last few years, a guy like Matt LaFleur, yeah, this dude's going to be a head coach. And I think it'll be this offseason. I think they're going to lose both guys.
Adam Gase got a job.
Adam Gase got a job. Anybody can get one.
Adam Gase got 2 jobs.
Back to back.
Chip Kelly got 2 jobs back to back. Eric Mangini got 2 jobs back to back.
Yeah.
North Turner had 3 jobs.
Listen.
Wade Phillips had 3 jobs. I mean, this is a league that will reward people. But I'm just telling you, when you start looking at the profile of these guys that they want, Kellen Moore fits that. Kellen Moore's going to be able to go in there and talk about, hey, look, he had a high-scoring offense, had number one. I mean, he's going to be able to come out there, and there's going to be an owner or general manager who falls into it, and he's not going to be able to control the roster. So a GM who wants to remain in control can, like they do it in Philadelphia, Nick Sirianni, they're going to hire Kellen Moore. I'm just telling you right now, I believe Kellen Moore's going to be a head coach.
Once again, I don't think he's a bad offensive coordinator. I think there are some things specifically for this team that could have been done differently.
All right, let's take a break. Time to talk about the offensive line.
Yeah.
In the last play.
And what will be. Danny McCray, Barry Church, Newy Scruggs. This is Players Lounge brought to you by Hotels.com on DallasCowboys.com radio.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm a broken traffic light. Stop and go is the name of my game. It's easy. You go, they go. Or was it they go, you go? And if you have the wrong car insurance, these repair costs could stop you in your tracks. So get Allstate's new low auto rate and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Not available in every state based on coverage and limits selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
It's game day. You know what that means. First, kebab prep. Steak, pepper, onion, steak, pepper, onion. Next, a counterclockwise lap around the room. Now the lucky grease-stained jersey goes on. And lastly, the dance. You know the one. This is a game day ritual no matter where you are. Whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com and keep the tradition alive and well. Hotels.com, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
At Smoothie King, we are blending goodness to fuel your greatness. Every blend is crafted to help you achieve your health and fitness goals. Smoothie King uses only whole fruits and organic veggies. You'll never find sugary syrups or artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives. And unlike some other smoothie places, there are 0 grams of added sugar in many of our blends. Smoothie King is proud to be the official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys. Place your order in the app or online for pickup or delivery. Smoothie King, rule the day.
At AT&T, everyone, new and existing customers, get our best deals on every smartphone. Why? Because you deserve it. For turning your living room into your office and your gym. For teaching Grandma how to video call and teaching her again.
It's the button on your left, Nana. Okay, your other left.
It's not complicated. Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers, our best deals with every unlimited plan on every smartphone, even the latest ones.
AT&T may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Restrictions and exceptions may apply.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Your favorite WWE superstars return to AT&T Stadium for WrestleMania on Saturday, April 2nd and Sunday, April 3rd. Get your tickets to the most stupendous two-night WrestleMania in history. Visit SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing provider of AT&T Stadium. Cowboys lose 23-17 to the San Francisco 49ers at home. The Cowboys were 3-point favorites. Nick Bosa ended up leaving and not playing in the second half at all. Final drive, Fred Warner, their second best football player on defense, he's not there either. So the Cowboys, 2:42 to go, could have gone down the field, won the game, didn't do it. Let's talk about the offensive line. And we can talk about what was and what will be concerning the O-line. Gentlemen.
I'm going to let down because y'all not going to let me beat up on these dudes first. All right, go ahead, Church.
It is what it is, man. And it came down to what we talked about last week. I think Newy brought it up exactly. He said this game's going to come down to the trenches and who's going to win in the trenches. And as we seen this last game, we got bullied. We got punked out there. Just put it simple as that. And it wasn't like they were bringing all types of different types of exotic pressures and running all these different type of things. It was man on man, like Coach Marinelli said, man on man, bone on bone football. And what's the most disheartening about it is they got whipped across the board. Like nobody got spared out there. You know, maybe outside of Zach Martin, he might have held his own, but every other position got whooped. I mean, Nick Bosa, before he went out, was giving La'el Collins to work. The man on the other side, I don't even know his name. He was giving Tyron Smith to work as well. It ain't Claiborne. He already got his bag.
Some dude from Texas.
But overall, I mean, and let's not even begin on Connor Williams, because I think his tape speaks for itself. I mean, that was one of the worst performances we've seen from an offensive lineman here in a long time. But they got whipped across the board, and what's making it even more disheartening is they did that without their best player for 3 quarters. Nick Bosa was out, and they still was getting pressure. I mean, I know Dak was off the entire day for the most part, but a lot of his throws, there was somebody in his lap. If they weren't hitting him, he was running for his life out there. So, I mean, it's a lot to blame to go around, but that offensive line was, it was definitely abysmal going out there yesterday.
That's what happened when you rush it 16 times. That's what happened. That's what happened. When you let guys tee off on you like that, they don't have to earn the right to rush the passer. They just get to rush the passer. And then you think you should be able to take a breath when Bosa goes out. And it didn't get any easier for the offensive line. You just like, goodness gracious, what are we doing? It was a bad performance by our offensive line. Questions that need to be answered going into the offseason.
Who's going to be our left guard?
Who's going to be our left tackle? Who's going to be our left guard?
Everybody.
Well, what are we doing? You're not doing nothing with right tackle because you just paid him, but how can you get him to play better? Like how can we solidify this and get back to our glory days? Well, we wouldn't win Super Bowls, but when you were like, hey, man, this is one of the most feared offensive lines in the league.
What will be? When I talk about this offensive line, number one, Joe Philbin needs to have a conversation with the head coach. You need to become more physical up front. Okay, physicality is not there. The center needs to be replaced. Okay, I know Mike McCarthy liked him coming out of Wisconsin, and I don't blame Tyler B. You are who you are, but he's a backup player. If this is your backup center and guard, little swing combo guy there, fine. This is not that guy. Your left guard, Connor Williams. No, Nate Newton has said it for a few years now, talking about Williams. He's too light. And you're seeing him getting bullied. He can get bullied, and he got bullied. So if your center is light and your left guard and people are able to just attack them, I'm sorry. You saw your quarterback running for his life. Your left tackle is undependable in terms of playing games.
Yeah.
And you got away with it this year for 12 wins. But we got to start. He's right. It's time to start to look at who's that next guy. Do you believe Steele can become that guy? Do you want to spend the offseason working with him in terms of left? But you've got to address this because you cannot continue to gamble like this. You gamble. I said gamble one more time this year. You gambled. He's missed games. Tyron Smith is an all-decade player. But you're still gambling, and you got to stop gambling. You have to. You got away with this offseason.
Yeah, and they got to see it. I mean, I was right there with you. I was talking about this in 2011, Tyron Smith going into the season, and for a while there we were right.
It worked.
But he's getting aged.
But you can't do that anymore.
No.
So
it's
I was
time to go.
Danny said no, address it. I said no, Band-Aid it. You Band-Aided it. you can't Band-Aid this anymore. So you can think about it, from the center to the left spot right there, center guard, left tackle. You got to fix this. This is not sustainable any longer. It allows you to beat up the bad teams. Good teams like this, they eating you alive.
And they only rushed 4. The whole like I said, it ain't like they're giving with these exotic blitzes. They're getting beat man on man, and that's the telltale right there. If you're getting beat man on man, bone on bone, it's time to make an adjustment.
Well, the telltale was my man Bosa coming out and saying, "We've seen these dudes get beat, so we gonna come out here and try to do the same thing other teams are doing."
They did.
Right.
Nobody fearing these dudes. Like, yeah, they're a great offensive line, and we gonna have to figure out a way to make sure that we create a little confusion for them. He's like, nah, them dudes got beat. We gonna come out here and rush for.
But you know what? You know what will help? That situation out is if you let that offensive line exert some will out there, exert some aggression. Don't let them sit there and catch the entire time. If you see that your left tackle, your left guard, sometimes your right tackle is struggling because they're catching the entire game, let them exert some will. Let them put some punishment out there. Run the football. But as we see, we're not going to do that. We're not willing to do that.
But you're not physical. You're not physical. You got bullied. I mean, it was the first drive you talked about. They getting bullied, and that was defensively. And then on offense, then they got the ball. So your defense got bullied the first drive. You get the offense ball. Then 3 and out, they got bullied.
With the defense, they got bullied, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, this is that Shanahan offense of like. You have no idea like where it's coming from, what formation is going to come out of, when Devo going to line up in the backfield, where your eyes got to be at. And I think as good as the linebackers played, they were out of position a few times where it was like, you watching the game, you're like, but if I was out there, I'd be like, that would have probably confused me too.
And if you look at it, the bigger loss I think was Keanu Neal not being active. And I know he hasn't been the greatest linebacker this entire season, but this is a guy that he played with Shanahan on that Atlanta Falcons team, so he would know with how they're going to try to attack you, where you should have your eyes, where you should key at. And he could help, Parsons and LVE play a little bit faster because that's hard. And especially for a young rookie like Parsons to be able to diagnose these plays when you got pulling guards, misdirection, you got ghost sweeps coming at you. That's a hard thing to do. And for both guys that don't understand that, it's going to be tough.
So right now, the Cowboys have the 24th pick in the draft. The three of us have not dived into it heavily. But if you had a choice right now, like a preference at 24, where would you go for your football team?
Tackle. Same thing I'm on last year. Like you at this point, you have a guy who you're almost sure is not going to be able to play the entire season. Like you have a guy there that needs to be replaced at this point. He over the last few seasons he's missed a lot of games. Get ready to get you a guy if you can that late, because I know this draft right now doesn't have a lot of quarterbacks in there, so you're gonna start seeing some O linemen and D linemen and they're gonna start going at the beginning of the draft. But if you have the opportunity, man, it's time to shore up the offensive line. And I would start with the tackle.
Yeah, I mean, right now, that's got to be one of the high priorities, this offensive line. I mean, you got to also see what you're able to bring back defensively, because a lot of those guys are going to be on one-year deals. But to me, the number one priority, as we've seen in this game, this offensive line has to be addressed.
So, and this is not diving into anything heavy right now, okay? I haven't, but I'm just off the top of my head knowing how these things normally go. You're talking about an offensive tackle. At 24, I'm going to imagine, and even just based off last year, your top 2 offensive tackles going to be gone. Yeah. It's not a heavy offensive tackle draft like when we saw Trifton Worst, all those guys. So do you take tackle number 3 or 4 at 24, or do you take possibly the number 1 rated center or number 1 rated guard if you're sitting at 20?
I think you take the highest rated offensive lineman of your need, right? So if it's a guard, center, tackle, whoever it is at 24. What I would like to see is us get another staple at left tackle, because we know how important that position is. You see, like the Trent Williams effect is a real thing.
And so, Tyron, top 10 guy. Trent, top 10 guy. So, and I guess what you don't, and this, I kind of think about like the Taco Charlton. You had a need. And so you just, he's defensive end number 5. We need one. And that's what you did. Is that what you're willing to do? Or do you say, hey, give me that number 1 center in the game. Give me that guy. who won the Remington Award. That's kind of my
I think you got to go number one overall. Like whoever's the top, whether it's guard, tackle, center, whoever's there. I think you got to go with the number one choice. You can't just staple yourself on. We got to get a left tackle. Because then who knows what happened by the third or fourth tackle in the league? Is he going to be that legit? Is he really a first rounder at that point? So you got to put all that in perspective. But I think you definitely got to go whoever's the best available offensive lineman on that one.
I agree.
So there's a lot of stuff there. You want to talk about the final play?
Oh, absolutely. Because listen, the crazy part about that play is I was on my way home. I ain't giving up.
You was out here?
And Church, I think Church texted said like worst play call ever. And I'm like on the way home, and I'm like, wait. What did I miss? What did I miss? So I have to go back and rewatch it. I'm like, oh God. Is that what it was? Okay, so we do the quarterback draw. Everybody has already said we don't have enough time to get this thing done. Maybe if Dak slides a little earlier. But then to hear that everybody is blaming the loss on pretty much it's still a Hail Mary shot from 30 yards out where you're running 5 vertical. So you're not automatically going to win the game, but don't blame the referee because you didn't give him the ball, bro. That whole situation was bad. And like I said, it's a culmination of our clock management and Mike McCarthy's ability to make sure that these things are done the correct way.
To me, all that, it didn't matter. They shouldn't have blamed the ref. And that whole last drive didn't matter because they had an opportunity. I think it was, 2 minutes and 2:42 left in the game, 3 timeouts. You got the rock. You got an opportunity to go ahead and you could do whatever you want. Run the ball, pass the ball, quarterback draw, whatever you want to do to get into the end zone. You had the opportunity there to do it, and you squandered it away. So, all that remaining last 14 seconds, why didn't the ref? Nah, it had nothing to do with it. You squandered it.
I was in the press conference, and I would tell you it was very frustrating for me as a media member because so many of the media people kept asking about the final play. And I'm just thinking to myself, okay, yeah, final play wasn't good. But let's not act like the 59 minutes before.
It didn't matter, huh?
You were out here, not ready to play. As McCarthy said, jittery. Your 14 penalties. All along the way, you got bullied in the trenches. You just didn't do your job. And to put it all as though, hey, man, you spotted him the ball. They were about to win that thing. No.
That's 30 yards out.
Right. That's what I didn't like. And I heard somebody's like, man, I didn't like the way they talked about the refs. I said, well, in fairness to them, you kept getting asked about it. Nobody wanted to let it. And I think Mike tried to, how you start off trying not to really go heavily there, but then the more you get asked, the more you start to tell it, and then he just went in there. And that's where in my opinion, you could see they were taking their cues from the top, where you're trying to blame everyone else and you're not really looking at yourselves. And when you come out of that, hearing what you hear, you say, do you guys understand why you lost? Because it doesn't sound like you understand why you lost. It sounds like you're just trying to say, if this dude would have just, if this dude would have stopped bull jiving, we'd have won the game. Like, no.
Man, these dudes thought they was at practice. They was trying to spot the ball themselves.
The center put the game down.
We got right here.
This is where we at, right here. Let me snap it.
What?
It don't work that way.
If that's the case, you should have went on here and ran up to the 20. Let me get 10 more yards.
This ain't mad in practice. Respotting the ball. You can't do it.
No, it was crazy. But shout out, because this will be one of the last few times we get to talk about the 2021 defense, okay? Like you said, gave them the ball back with 2 minutes and 34 seconds. Then you stop them on third down, make a punt to get the ball back again to put you in that situation. So I'm going to continue to say, ain't no defensive letdown. Yeah, we gave up some stuff in the trenches, but we found out a way to get the ball back to our offense, and offense did not help us out.
You seen what the 49ers did, to Diggs, man. The double move.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, we said that.
We said those.
Yeah, man.
Oh, you gonna get those for the rest of your career.
On that.
If Jimmy Garoppolo, I'm going to say it's the thumb. Okay, I'm going to give Jimmy a pass. But they beaten Trayvon Diggs, and he overthrew the receiver.
Ayuk, yeah.
Overthrew the receiver, and the Cowboys got the ball back. But Jimmy couldn't finish him off. They
threw the pick.
The coach called the right play. The coach dialed up the play. Receivers open. Quarterback couldn't get it there, which is why I don't think that they're going to go much further because, your quarterback it gets tougher.
Yeah, and they're going to Green Bay. That's a wrap.
So anyway, terrible loss. Mike McCarthy gets a C for me. C+, because you didn't do what you're supposed to do. And for all the criticism I gave Jason Garrett, I give it more to Mike McCarthy because I thought you were the chosen one. I thought you were the answer. You didn't do it. It's disappointing.
I'm with Church now. I know. Well, you gave him a C what?
C.
Yeah,
I
I'm with Church
gave
now. I gave him a B. He got a straight up C now. Ain't no plus nothing.
Okay, C. I'm okay. Then
No
that's
plus.
fair. Let's just give the C.
Let's give him a C.
Danny McCray, Barry Church, Newy Scruggs. We're done. Mix shots coming your way. Bottom of the hour right here on Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?